Welcome to the Rebecca and Knits Knitting Podcast. This is my take 2. People, I just recorded the entire podcast, 42 minutes worth of content, and realised my microphone wasn't turned on. So, here we are for take 2. Sorry if this becomes a little bit more brief or, not as succinct as the first version. Not that you'll ever see the first version, because you can't hear a single thing. I'm really bummed. I charged my microphone, I did all the things and then forgot to turn it on. So that was really dumb. But oh well, here we are for take 2. Maybe you'll get a more succinct and less chatty episode though. Welcome to everyone who is new. I'm Bex. I'm a knitter here in Wellington in New Zealand. This is my little space on the internet where I talk about my knitting, occasionally crochet. I've just started learning to spin, so that's sometimes in here too. I am part of a whole pile of New Zealand producers of yarn, yarn dyers, podcasters, yarn shop owners, all sorts of us who are promoting the Kiwi Makealong, which is basically just a make-along, join in with us to knit with Kiwi yarn or a pattern designed by a Kiwi designer, or both. In the month, over the winter months, so June, July and August. So you'll see most of my projects at the moment are with Kiwi yarn because I am supporting that and getting on board. If you've been joining me, I've been doing like weekly updates throughout the month of June. I'm hoping to continue that throughout the make-along, just letting you know what I've been knitting on and what my future plans are. So to start with, what am I wearing today? It's kind of fun going through the back catalogue of some of my knits while I'm wearing them. I'm all out of breath, sorry, because I just talked for 40 minutes and now I'm talking again. But this is my Ariana cardigan. This is a free pattern actually on Ravelry. It's by Savoury Knits. I can't remember what her name is. Somebody Christophers of Savoury Knitting. And she made this pattern. It's not a very well written pattern, to be completely honest. It really did my head in, but I absolutely love the finished object that this is. It's a cardigan made with granny squares that are crocheted, but then all the trims are knit. So the button band, the sleeve cuffs and the body band, bottom band of the body are all knit. And if you can get your head around the instructions in the pattern, then it's really cool. I ended up just making all the squares, not doing her join as you go method, and then sewing them all together at the end, which worked a lot better for me. But unfortunately my sewing together is not very good, and it could do with me going back over it and doing another joining method. I actually made 2 of these cardigans. This was my second version. And for this one, you'll be able to see that I did like a top slip stitch crochet joining method for all of the squares. And so you get that outline around each of the squares, but it's really so much more tidy than this one, which is stitched. I actually used multiple joining methods and stitching methods because I really struggled with this pattern the first time I made it. So what I would love to do, because I do have some left over of this oatmeal, is to go back through and do that slip stitch, top stitch, crochet all the way around between all the squares, but that hasn't happened yet. I knit this in mostly 100% alpaca yarn. This the oatmeal and the light blue and the light pink are a fingering weight, what would you call it? Well, it's just really 100% alpaca, I think it was, that was put out by Skeins. They did a first run of it and I think it was 100% alpaca, and then their second run they included some nylon, or it was the other way around, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure this is the 100% alpaca version. So it's quite drapey and lovely, and the darker 2 colours were just leftover scraps from my stash that I can't remember what they are, but it could be listed in my pattern page on Ravelry, maybe. I can't remember if I put that in there or not, but you can go and have a look if you're interested. They were bits from my stash anyway. I absolutely love how this has come together. I don't wear it all that often because it doesn't look that polished, because it needs me to go back through and do that crochet join. But today I wanted to wear it, so I did. And I'm just at home today, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't look that polished. Though now you know. You'll see that I'm in a different spot today. This is my bedroom. This is my knitting chair where I sit and knit quite often. I have a lovely window to the backyard here, and my big blanket box full of all my knitting supplies and my project bags and all my bits and pieces is next to me here. So this is one of my favourite knitting spots. I couldn't be bothered taking everything out to my yarn stash space today, so you get this spot today. Also, my tripod broke, and so I have you improvised set up on my bed. So hopefully it's not too wonky, and hopefully the audio is working this time. I'm just going to double check. Sorry, I'm trying not to crackle it. Is the light on? Oh my gosh. Okay, it is going. I had to stop there because I thought it was wrong again. But no, it's working. So here I am, back again. Finished talking about what I'm making. Oh, sorry, what I'm wearing. What have I finished in the last week? 2 finished objects, the 2 that I really hoped that I would get done. That's really great. I have my socks finished. These are my Mama Willing Year of Sock colorway socks. This is called Winter on the Desert Road. I've held it with a strand of just cream mohair and made DK weight socks. This is fingering weight and mohair held on a 3mm needle, and yeah, just a basic DK weight sock with my favorite go-to shadow wrap heel and wedge toe. Done these ones a bit longer. I make most of my socks shorties, but because these are fluffy, warm, wintry socks, I decided to do them with a longer leg. I think I did 40 rows for the leg and 50 for the foot. I finished these yesterday. Well, I finished the knitting of them yesterday, and I just woven all the ends this morning. Absolutely love them. They're so soft and pretty and warm and snuggly. I have all hardwood Remu flooring in my house, and so I like to wear my hand knit socks kind of like slippers. I find socks and slippers too hot, and I find just slippers get too smelly with no socks, and so I just like to wear my socks. So I wear hand knit socks all the time. I have hand knit socks on now. And so I'm stoked to have these snuggly warm ones all done and dusted. Also finished the mitts, which I was trying to finish for this episode. So here we go. We finally have 2 lovely little mitts. These are based on the pattern called Cloudburst, which is a free pattern on Ravelry that actually has none of this patterning, but the original pattern has a lovely lacework panel down the hand and the arm, which I omitted, just followed the numbers and put the same stitch pattern in at the top there as I did on the hat that I previously made for my friend Helen. If you've watched my previous episodes, you would have seen this, but it's called the Curiosity Hat. It's by Tori Yu. It's kind of muscle burra styled in that it's a big long tube that you put inside each other and you can wear it. It's reversible. But this one has this cool 2-color broken, what would you call it? Broken seed stitch, broken moss stitch, one or the other. Brim. It takes a bit of an effort to put it back together. But you can wear it this way, or you can obviously reverse it and wear it this way. So that's quite fun. So I've made that little matching set, and I'll be shipping them off to my friend Helen. 3.25mm needles, and the yarn is all from Skeins. So lovely lovelies. Very pleased to have those finished. I After knitting a hat and mitts, I'm really bored of this colorway. It's so beautiful, but I am done knitting with it. I am ready for that to be done and to be shipped off to my friend. So those are my 2 finished objects for the week, which is not bad going. I have been working on my Calypso as well. If you've been around, you will have seen this a few times by now. This is Calypso by Black Cat Knitting Company, and many of us who are promoting the Kiwi Makealong are making Calypsos. This is my version. My blue is a wool and possum blend, and my gold is a fingering weight and a mohair held together. So last episode I was just past the yoke and just split for the sleeves, and now I've done about 10 centimetres of body, which isn't a lot. But I've been finishing off all those little things, so I haven't been working on this as much. But and this is not as portable, can't come with me to work, etc. But making good progress. I've got a picture, I tried it on this morning, so I'll put the picture in here of how it's looking on me. I think the fit is looking great. I'm very happy with the fit, and I've got probably 20 centimetres more to knit on the body, and then I can do the picot bind off and the sleeves. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get it done. Hopefully I might make it through the rest of the body this week. That's kind of my goal. We'll see how we go. Yeah, so I'm really loving it. It's coming along beautifully. Beautiful yarn to knit with, and really loving the result. Also getting really itchy to cast on something new. But that's okay, because I've cast off 2 things, so I just feel like when you cast something off, you should cast something on, right? But anyway, working away on the Calypso, that's going well. I've also been working on this. I did talk last week about what am I going to cast on next, and then realised that of course I need to work on fixing this jumper for my friend first before I cast on anything else new. It was quite the headache, guys, to unpick the bottom because it was quite felted from lots of wear, and this is 100% 18 micron merino, and it's quite, I've done a lot of depilling on this already. It's still not perfect, but I don't know if you can see, so there's still quite a bit of pills, but it's almost matted because it's a little bit, not felted, but everything's just jumped together as it got worn lots, and you can sort of see where I've picked up at the bottom there. So I've knit about 5 centimetres of further length, and it needs maybe 10 and then the rib again, to make it more wearable for my friend, because it has shrunk up over time. Ideally I would lengthen the sleeves as well. I'm not sure I can be bothered because it was so much hard work getting the stitches, the rib cut off, and all the stitches picked back up because they were all so gripped together and sort of semi-felted, and then picked up. And it's fingering weight on a 3.25mm needle, so it's quite an adult sized jersey, so it's quite a lot of knitting just to lengthen it. But I'm happily working away on that. You can obviously in a dark blue era. So yeah, I've been working on that too. I don't have a timeline for this particularly. I said to my friend I would try and improve it for her so she gets a bit more wear out of it, but I didn't give her any specific timeline very purposefully. So let's hope that, yeah, I'll just work on it as I want and need to in between when I'm at home, because I don't want to wind the yarn off the cone because I only want to use as much as it needs. Because I'd love to still be able to make a project for myself out of this, but this is not very portable. Anyway, so that's my WIPS. And of course I cast off my socks, and you know me, I can't not have a sock on the needle because that's my go-to portable knitting. Finished my mitts, finished my socks. Where's my handbag knitting? Had to cast on something new again, didn't I? You know, if you've been here before, that I promised to make my daughter a pair of socks for her birthday, which is on the 9th of July, so it's coming up in about 2 weeks. And we talked about using a mini skein set from Marina of Strawberry Patches. She's changed her mind about that. I'm not mad because I love those mini skeins. I want socks in those. Then we talked about using the Silent Night with Yorkshire Spinners yarn with the gold sparkle that I brought the other week. So she's changed her mind again from that. And now we are knitting these socks. So this is just going to be like a shorty sock for my 10-year-old for her birthday. She decided to choose from my stash, got myself tangled because of course everything's a mess now that I've recorded this episode twice. This yarn here, this is skein sock yarn. I don't remember what this colorway is called, but I had 2 balls of it in my stash and she decided she loved it. And so we're knitting that. I'm holding it double because we decided on DK weight socks for winter. And I'm knitting it on 3mm needles as I do all my DK socks. And this cream yarn at the top is a mini skein from Mama Wooling. I'm not actually sure if it's undyed or whether it's slightly gently dyed, but it came in a gnome mini skein set that I purchased. So we're going to do that for the toe as well. And just my standard shadow wrap heel. I'm doing 2 stitches less, so when I knit my self DK socks, the ones you already saw, I do 56 stitches for my fingering weight socks, and I do 46 stitches for my DK weight socks. And for these ones, I've done 44. So I've just dropped off 2, and it fits her roomily, but fine because they will felt up a little bit as they get washed and worn. So I like to make them with a little bit of give, a little bit of ease. Yeah, so I'm working away at those. They should knit up pretty quick. I knit these in my sparkle. Or on the go, I take them to work. I discovered this with my husband and I purchased a sparkle as our kind of like date night situation for when our kids were little and we couldn't go out. We didn't have the money to go out on dates all the time, but mostly we didn't have the babysitter and the availability to leave our kids alone or with someone very often. And so we got a very good special at field days one year and we brought a sparkle for our backyard, and it's an ozone treated sparkle, so it's not chlorinated. And I recently discovered just this year that if you take a small project like this and you pop your ball of wool in an ice cream container, it will float on the surface of the spa, and you can sit out there for an hour and a half with a lovely cup of coffee or a glass of red wine and knit. So I do that quite often now. It's amazing. And I used to get quite bored when I was out in the sparkle. I never used to go out there that often because after about half an hour and your cup of coffee or your glass of wine is gone, then it's like, well, now I'm bored. What if I take my knitting? I can last an hour and a half, 2 hours. I might need a drink top up, but it's great. Really love that. So I love having a small project on the go that can be in my handbag, be in my work bag, or come into the sparkle. So I have no doubt these will get done in time for a birthday, but those are happening in the background. They're my only cast on. Got my WIPS, finished my FO, sorry for the hiccups. I had a yummy cup of lemon ginger honey, which I was drinking when I filmed the first version of this podcast, but it's now all gone. Very disappointing. I've got to hurry up. My kids are going to be home from school, so this was not supposed to take this long because I wasn't supposed to record it twice. What else do I want to say? This is definitely going to end up shorter. I'm sorry, guys. The first version was better. In my last episode, I was talking about this beautiful Miro Yarns alpaca boucle that I had purchased for my birthday. And I threw around a bunch of ideas for different projects for it. And Kat from Broomstitch commented back and said she reckons I should make the dress. And that's the thing that really sticks out to me as being the most exciting to do with it, to be honest. I have a whole lot of jumpers already, and I already have a boucle cardigan. And so it does seem pretty cool of an idea to make a dress with this, like a fitted dress. And then when I was thinking today about my plans, I've been thinking very hard about what I want to cast on when I finish the Calypso. And I've come to a decision. And this plan works in just perfectly with that plan. And now I am so excited. So these are my plans. I am going to knit the Pressed Flowers cardigan, which has been on my to knit list since it was released. Absolutely love it. It's all over mosaic flower cardigan. There's a sweater version and a shawl and a shawlette and a hat and socks, but I'm going to knit the cardigan. And I'm going to use this beautiful New Zealand yarn. This is by Marmalade Yarn Co. It's called the Berry Fade, and this is the first ever hand-dyed yarn that I ever purchased for myself. I think maybe in 2021. I've had this in stash for a long time, and it's this stunning sort of like mauvey, purpley, pinky fade. And I'm going to make pretty flowers with this. I have been holding on to this yarn forever, not really knowing the perfect project. And once Pressed Flowers came out, I knew that I wanted this to be a Pressed Flowers cardigan, but it just has never made it to the top of the list yet. And now it is going to, guys. It is going to be knit next. So this is going to be my contrast color. This is a twist sock base, so it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. 365 meters for 100 grams. Now the Pressed Flowers cardigan is a sport weight gauge, but because this is a slightly heavier fingering, I think that will be perfect. I think I'll make it work anyway. And then I'm going to hold it with, for my background color, Skeins Yarn again. I'm sorry that they feature so often, but I just get quite obsessive about buying their yarn because they have such good sales. My hair's doing something weird. Yes, I love Skeins Yarn. It's so affordable and it's all New Zealand yarn. So support local people. This is one of Skeins' limited edition dip dyes. This is called Amethyst Sand, and it's a fingering weight 100% wool. It is a hand wash. Although this is super wash, this is hand wash, so that's good. That'll be a bit more grippy. It's not feral, it's not stranded colour work, it's mosaic knitting. And so I'm going to hold that, but this is 400 meters to 100 grams. It's quite a bit finer than this and not quite sport weight. Definitely not. So I'm actually going to hold it with this, which is one of Skeins' trial runs of their Whisper mohair when they were first developing that. That colourway is called Smoke. So I'm going to hold those together for my background colour and use the fade for the flowers. Isn't that going to be stunning? And then I'm going to make it quite fitted. And then, rather than oversize, I'm going to knit a fitted dress out of this to wear with this. Can you see it? It's so exciting. Like, there's some of these deeper purpley aubergine colours, squashed grape colours in this darker version of the darkest colour. Oh, it's just going to be so amazing. I can see it now. It's just going to be like the most perfect me-made outfit. So that's got to be pretty much the rest of my make-along plans, because by the time I knit a full mosaic cardigan and a dress, I'm sure we'll be at the end of August. But I am so excited, people, for that. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be absolutely stunning, and I'm really thrilled to finally be getting to knit up that yarn that I've had for so long and I love so much, and it's going to become something so stunning. And also getting to use something that's brand new to me, but then I can incorporate it into like a full outfit. Like, how cool will that be? I'm really stoked. I'm really excited. So if you don't come back for a while, you know what I'm going to be knitting on. I'm going to finish the Calypso first. I am not going to cast either of those on until I have finished the Calypso. And I think I'm going to use, did I say this already? I'm really losing track of what I said on the first round and what I said on the second round. But for the dress, I have the pattern called the City Top by Tori Yu, but it also has modifications to knit it into a dress. And I have actually started one of those in a beautiful cotton and wool blend that's a blue fade, and I've done like the top torso part, and then it started getting colder and I wanted to knit with wool again, so I haven't finished the dress. It'll come back to that next summer. If you look a few episodes back, you'll probably see that, and I might pull it out again when I'm ready to swatch for this, but I think I will use that pattern because I really like it. It's kind of like a higher neck square across here and then cuts down like this top with just very small straps over the shoulders, and then quite fitted. It's got rib at the sides, so kind of just above knee length, I guess. Well, it'll depend on how long I can make it with what yardage I have. Yeah, so I will probably do that. Unless you've got any other suggestions of a sort of fitted knit dress that I can knit, that I can make with the boucle. A couple of others that I like the shape of, but I knit in all rib, and I don't think all rib in boucle is really worth it. So yeah, I'm thinking more something stockinette. But I am very, very, very excited about that plan. And now I have heaps of motivation to knit on my Calypso because I want to get it done so that I can start that. I might knit the two of those in tandem, to be honest. I might cast them both on because one is all stockinette and one is all mosaic. And so it will be nice to be able to mix between the two. I feel like the Calypso has been a nice mix because you've had all that stranded colourwork yoke, which is time consuming but really fun. And now I'm interested in the simple stockinette. And so you've got best of both worlds in one sweater, whereas I think with those two projects, I think I'll get annoyed knitting with boucle, only with boucle, doing a full stockinette dress with that being my only main project. I think I'll also get a bit fed up with doing the mosaic of pressed flowers, because it's not mindless. I have to follow a pattern. So I think I'll have both going together. So when I finish Calypso, I will cast them both on. And what else do I want to talk about? I only have one acquisition that I want to talk about. I think that's all pretty much after that. Yep. I'm just looking around me at the chaos to see if there's anything that I've missed that I talked about last time but I haven't talked about this time, but I don't think so. We're going to be like half the length, but that's probably good. Let's keep it succinct. It's probably a good thing. I was probably very rambly before. The last thing I wanted to share with you is my newest acquisition. This arrived actually last Monday, but after I filmed the podcast, and I purchased a while ago, and it just arrived, the Midwinter Minis Advent, Winter Solstice Advent from Mama Willing. So it's basically like a Christmas Advent in the fact that it's 24 mini skeins plus a main skein and a couple of little extras, and it's designed to be open one a day over the course of July. So I'm very excited. I'll give you a little sneak peek. What I thought I would do, I don't really have a project in mind. I don't. I have a project in mind that's a blanket, but I still have a blanket on the needles. So I'm not really wanting to cast this on yet, but I am wanting to open it up. But what I thought I would do is open it over the month of July, and I'll open one each day, and then I'll share a little montage of each of them on my Monday podcast the following week, so that if other people that are following me are opening it during that week, then they don't get spoiled. So there you go, a little sneak peek. The little white bags are quite fun because you can kind of get a sneak peek at what the colour is, but also you have no idea. But I love it. You can see that this one up here is a bit stupid because I did get very tempted and open up that day one. And because well. Anyways, yeah, so what I think I will do is open these up one a day in July, and I will share that with you the following Monday. So not next Monday because that's 30th of June, but the following week, excuse me, I will I'll share the ones that I've opened the week prior. So that's very exciting. I love myself at Advent. I'm already thinking about Christmas time advents because I love Christmas time advents. I have one already purchased. I'm getting the advent from Rainbows and Sprinkles, who's an Australian hand dyer. She's doing a pastel rainbow advent this year, and I'm very excited for that. I might get Mama Walling's one, undecided as of yet. And I'm also doing a scrappy swappy advent with one of my fellow New Zealand yarny friends. So that's very exciting. I love doing scrappy swappy advents because you get to kind of like repurpose some of your own leftovers and little bits and pieces or mini skeins that you've collected that aren't colours that you see yourself using, and swap them with somebody and get something exciting and new and different in return, without it costing a fortune, because these things are expensive. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. If anybody else out there desperately wants a buddy to do a scrappy swappy advent swap with, feel free to message me. I probably have enough scraps and leftovers to pull off 2. You never know. I'd have a good hunt, but maybe. So yeah, reach out if anyone else is desperate to do that. But yeah, I love advents. I love it. It's so fun. All the little mini skeins, and I'm excited. I love Christmas. It's kind of midwinter Christmas now. So, right. So yeah, that's about all I really have to say. Send me all your knitting time vibes so I can get lots and lots of knitting done this week. I'm really hoping to make a good progress on that calypso so I can get towards casting on my new things. And what else? Nothing else really, just doing the working thing. I've got a full study day at like an education professional development day on Friday, which I'm pretty sure I just have to go to and listen to someone talk and share information and do slideshows and stuff. So I'm planning to take my calypso to that. Hopefully I will be able to make some really good progress on Friday if I don't get much chance during the rest of the week. I've now lost an extra hour because I had to film this twice. And yes, one of my sisters is due to have her first baby in the next week or so. Her due date is this coming week, so I'm kind of on high alert to get a call to hopefully go to her birth as well if I'm not at work delivering other people's babies. So that's exciting, but also might steal quite a lot of my knitting time. We will see. Well shared. I'm quite happy to share my knitting time with seeing my new little niece be born. What else is going on? Nothing really exciting. The school holidays are coming up, so I'm trying to make plans for what I'm going to do with my children while I work over the school holidays. That's a new dilemma for me. Haven't been a working parent until now, and so that's quite the struggle. And yeah, nothing else really to say. Happy knitting, everyone. Please share with me what you're knitting on. If you've got any questions about my projects, feel free to have a look at my Ravelry project pages. I'll link that below. And if you've got a question that you can't find the answer to there, or Ravelry is not for you, please just comment below the video and I'll be delighted to respond and answer your questions. If you've got anything you'd like to share with me. Oh, that's one other thing I mentioned on my other episode. I finished my first spin. I don't have it here to show you, but I'll show you it next week. I finished spinning the singles and plying my first ever hand spun yarn. So exciting. I spun up that beautiful Hanui base by that was hand dyed by Marina of Strawberry Patches. And so I have made the yarn. I now need to take it off the bobbin, put it into a skein, soak it, snap it, and wind it so that I can actually knit something with it. I reckon it's turned out kind of like somewhere between a sport and a DK, but it's very uneven and most of it's overspun because my spinning wheel has some tension issues. So if you have any ideas of what I could knit with one full bobbin's worth of 2-ply hand spun that is very lumpy, bumpy, handmade and uneven, please leave your suggestions below. I would love to turn my first handmade yarn into something that I can actually knit. There's no nylon content in this fibre, so I don't really want to make socks. I don't really wear hats. So I'm thinking maybe like a little shawlette, but not really sure. So if you've got any good suggestions, please leave them below. Or message me. You can message me on Instagram. Yeah, let me know if you've got any suggestions. And I'll see you again next week. I should be able to record again next Monday. So I will stitch my little heart out until then and see you sometime soon. Happy knitting, everyone. Stay warm, stay well, and I'll catch you in a week's time. Ka kite e mau.